All right, guys, we're going to talk about WWE and the World Heavyweight title picture with Seth Rollins' injury. Will he be forced to relinquish the title? Is WWE going to crown a new World Heavyweight Championship? That's what we're going to talk about today, guys. And we're going to see the best scenarios because with Seth Rollins getting in with his injury at Crown Jewel, and of course the whole, if it's his rotator cuff or shoulder injury, which will require surgery, he's going to have to force that title whether people like it or not, because that was a wild spot that he did at Crown Jewel, and he has been the same since that left arm. He has not moved. Kayfabe or not, I don't think it's a storyline. I think Seth is out, and this is unfortunate because he just won a big match against Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Championship and finally getting a win over Cody Rhodes. But the facts are the facts. This man is hurt. That's why they broke up the division the way they did. And it's going to have to come to the best scenario of what they're going to do when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I will say with Seth Rollins, this will be marks the second time in a row that he has been hurt, injured as the World Heavyweight Champion. If you guys remember back in 2024, last year, he had a grade 2 MCL, and he did get surgery, but he still was the world champion, and he went all through WrestleMania 40 until losing to Drew McIntyre of WrestleMania 49 too. But we're going to have to get a brand new world champion. I believe on Monday Night Raw, they may make an announcement that he's going to be forced to vacate the title. I highly doubt that he's still going to hold the championship. Maybe he'll still be champion, but they're more likely going to do a tournament to crown new world champion. Now, we got some names in mind. We know that CM Punk is the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, so we know he's going to be involved in the title picture. He will be the person to face whoever is going to face in the finals of the tournament. So his name is already in the hat. Then you're expect to see another name like Jey Uso, who never got his one-on-one rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship, and also a former world champion. So you know Jey Uso will be involved in this tournament as well. Then, of course, the big name that we think is going to be the champion is Bron Breakker. It's a possibility. If not win, he will be in the finals of this World Heavyweight Championship tournament. And then, of course, another name that people are talking about is L.A. Knight. He is the last man to pin Seth Rollins, period. No one's had pinned the man since then, so he has a claim, right? Still has a claim to why he should be the World Heavyweight Champion. But, you know, Seth Rollins, with his prior prank of the whole being hurt right before cashing Money in the Bank, people still don't believe that he may not be hurt. But I don't think it's a prank, like I said before. But the World Heavyweight Championship is going to have to be vacated. Saturday night's main event is November 1st. So I believe that the tournament will end at that date. And they could do a tournament on Raw and on the next upcoming weeks of Monday Night Raw. But I know Stevie Richards, he talked about the whole impact of the injury of Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel. Let's see what Stevie Richards had to say here.
Oh, but he's not doing a drop kick. Oh, wow. There it is right there. That's the beginning. I'm surprised he didn't, break his arm. He obviously did. All the pressure of this bump down here is on his shoulder. So what a weird move. What was he trying to do?
I guess a diving headbutt.
Yes, he was.
I mean, it's another ill-advised move.
He hits it too.
It's a diving headbutt, but...
Yeah. This is like, you know what would be cool, and you know what no one's ever done? But there's a reason for it. Oh, he totally... Did he get a torn rotator cuff off this?
We don't...
If he didn't, he's lucky.
Yeah, we don't know at this point. We believe that Seth is going to be having more tests done this week. It also goes to a conspiracy theory that is why he was wearing a massive coat on Raw on Monday, as we record this, to hide some possible heavy bracing. He was also photographed around Australia with his arm in a sling after this as well. So we can get into, is it real, is it not, specifically with Seth, due to the Saturday night's main event faux knee injury thing, where they seemed determined to fool the fans into thinking he was going to be gone for a while, and then he wasn't. But now this time everyone's thinking, yeah, this could actually be real.
Well, I'm going to say right now, this injury is sponsored by Slim Jim. So snap your shoulder into a Slim Jim. Well, this is TKO. I'm sure they would do it if they thought about it. But that's a super cool move. That's awesome. He hit the headbutt perfectly and he took care of Cody. But the thing is, I don't know what you could have done, like his hand's here. If his hand wasn't down to at least brace it a little bit, what are you doing then? Your whole left shoulder is like, you could literally probably break your shoulder and maybe have a neck injury to go along with it. There's no good way to bump off this. This is really... Dude, he's so athletic. I got to put it over in a way. He's so athletic to be able to pull this on. And look at this. He knows it's a bad bump. This here and this here is like, this is going to hurt a lot. How do I brace myself? And by bracing himself, like, dude, you could have broken this shoulder and tore that rotator cuff. We could have a multitude of injuries when it comes to this. Obviously, he was holding the microphone with his right hand, so I guess it's okay. But man, this is really bad. Yeah, right there, look at that. Once you see it sort of braced up against your body, something's wrong. Elbow, wrist, shoulder, or all three of those. And look, it's dead. You wouldn't be selling it like that if it were fake. Now we are in boy who cried wolf territory, right, James?
Mm-hmm.
So that was Stevie Richards talking about the injury that Seth Rollins sustained at Crown Jewel. Talked about how he went in with the headbutt and how he, even though he still finished the match with Cody Rhodes, you could tell that he landed wrong. And it's a crazy situation though. But Seth Rollins, he does have to get surgery for the rotator cuff or shoulder. I hope he does get well, rest up, get the surgery that he needs. But he's going to be out for quite some time. Now, if it's a rotator cuff, I will say this. Currently, Chad Gable, he had that same surgery, I think, back in June. And as we can see, as of right now, Chad Gable is not returned to WWE. He's not El America Grande. And that was back in June. We are in October. So Seth Rollins is going to be out for quite some time. It'll be a good 4 or 5 months. If he gets the surgery now or next month, I will say he's going to miss WrestleMania 42. So that puts a damper on a lot of stuff. But I would say with the World Heavyweight Championship picture, I could see they're going to have Bron Breakker probably win the championship. Or the best scenario, I would say, is have LA Knight win the World Heavyweight Championship. Since he's never won a championship, they give him a test run, see how he goes as champion. Maybe he'll be a good champion. Maybe he won't be a good champion. But I would say the best scenario is to put on LA Knight right now. And Bron Breakker could take the championship off him. However, they play that with the book and everything else. But we are going to have to crown a new World Heavyweight Champion. Either way, that's why the Vision, they turn on Seth Rollins. I believe that turn was supposed to have for another 5-6 months down the line. I just don't. It don't make any sense to break it up now. And some people think that's a swerve as well as the injury that is fake. I don't think it's a swerve with the breakup. I think that's it. And Seth is out. They just haven't made no formal announcement yet. Now I know Adam Pearce, the general manager of Monday Night Raw, he will make an announcement on his social media page, X, of what's going to happen with the fate of the World Heavyweight Championship. I will say on Monday Night Raw, this upcoming episode, if Seth Rollins kicks off Monday Night Raw or Adam Pearce talks about the World Heavyweight Championship, yeah, that means it's not kayfabe, it's real, and it will be vacated, and it's going to be a crowned new world champion. But expect that 8-man tournament qualifying matches. Now, if they don't do a tournament style, for the World Heavyweight Championship, they also can do a elimination chamber style. That can work as well. You could have 6 men in each pod, and it would be similar to New Year's Revolution 2005. You guys remember, it was 6 men in the chamber: Triple H, Batista, Chris Benoit, Edge, Batista, Randy Orton. Whoever won that championship would be crowned a new world champion because the title was vacated at that particular time. They could do it like that, similar to New Year's Revolution 2005. Whoever 6 men in the pod, whoever wins the championship is crowned a new world champion. And I can see that, like I said, the names I mentioned earlier, you could add maybe a couple more names to that. And then you have yourselves a match for, to crown a new world champion. But that would be a good scenario as well. Chamber match or a regular tournament style match where it comes down to 2 people. But this World Heavyweight Championship, I would say, me personally, ever since the title's been incepted, it's always something going on with this title. Seth Rollins was hurt in his first run, like I said earlier, as the World Heavyweight Champion. We didn't have some of the best world champions. The booking with Damian Priest, I've always questioned his run wasn't the best. Jey Uso world title run wasn't the best. The only person that had a solid run was Gunther. He had a solid, fair run as world champion, and the championship was taken seriously. And then we're not even going to mention CM Punk holding the championship for 5 minutes, as well as Drew McIntyre holding it for 5 minutes as well. So we already had 2 short-reigning World Heavyweight Champions. And we had twice with Seth Rollins get hurt as champion, and then Damian Priest, Jey Uso. Now, people could talk about the Universal Championship, how that's cursed and how that's not a good title, but I'm starting to feel the same way about the World Heavyweight Championship. This is why it's so important that whoever becomes the new champion, how it's set up, that it's done right and it's done in a good way, because if not, this championship is going to keep going down. It's turning its prestige and quality. It'll be no different than the Universal Championship. It just be the World Heavyweight Championship. So we got to see how this is going to play out for the better. I really hope Triple H and them don't just don't hot shot the title. At least make something worthwhile, at least leading up to WrestleMania. That would be the best way to do that, because we know that's how it goes. So either a Survivor Series tournament, or they could do Elimination Chamber style, or something close to Saturday night's main event. They're going to have to do something soon, because we have Royal Rumble in the next few months. So something's going to have to be done, and done soon. It's going to be one of 3 events: Saturday main event or Survivor Series or something. Something's going to have to happen with the world title in the picture as far as crowning a brand new world champ, because if they don't do that, then it's going to be sitting there. So we know WWE going to have something in mind. I know, of course, this was not the initial plan when they did start to have this world championship title reign. It was supposed to be Seth Rollins. I heard he's supposed to have a very good, decent run until WrestleMania next year. I think that was the initial plan. He was nowhere near going to lose the championship or vacate it this early. But they're going to have to call audible, do the best way possible. I just hope that whoever gets the title next, it's a good title reign and not a joke, but only matter of time is going to happen next when it comes to that. And that's all I have for WWE to crown new World Heavyweight Champion. Seth Rollins, will he have to vacate the world title? You guys let me know. Check out the content below. And of course, guys, you already know what it is at this point. It's OUT.